Hi, friends, welcome to our podcast channel.
Hello everyone. Once again welcome to Storytellers. Yes, the only podcast channel about the stories of constellations.
Hello, friends. This is your friend Quizmaster Rajib is back once again with stories on constellations where history and mythology and cosmos and universe all merge in one romantic imagination. Today we'll be talking about UrsaMajor, or also known as the Great Bear. Well, UrsaMajor is a constellation in the northern sky whose associated mythology likely dates back to prehistory. In Latin, the name means Greta or she-bear, referring to the contrasting it with the nearby Ursa Minor and the Lesser Bear. UrsaMajor is primarily known for the asterism of its main 7 stars, which have been called the Big Dipper, the Wagon, Charles Wen or Plough, among other names. In our very own Vedic astrology and astronomy, which we will be definitely discussing in later course, UrsaMajor is known as Saptarshi, each of the 7 stars representing one of the Saptarishis or the 7 sages, namely Bhrigu, Otri, Angiras, Vashishta, Pulasta, Pulaha and Kratu. The fact that the 2 front stars of the constellation point to the pole star or Dhrubotara, explained as the boon given to the boy sage Dhruva by Lord Vishnu. Well, now coming back to the Greek and Roman mythology. Well, 2 of its stars named Dubhe and Merak, Ursa Majoris and Beta Ursa Majoris, can be used as the navigational pointer towards the place of the current northern pole star, Polaris in Ursa Minor. Along with asterisms that incorporate or compromise it is significant to numerous world cultures, often used as a symbol of the North. Well, if you're a quizzing buff, a very important quizzing question, its depiction on the flag of Alaska is a modern example of symbolism. UrsaMajor is visible throughout the year from most of the northern hemisphere and appears circumpolar above the mid-northern latitudes. From the southern temperate latitudes, the main asterism is invisible. Anyway, well, these are the scientific explanation. I'm not exactly here to talk about this. There are professional astronomers and sites where you can get all this. Let me go into the most fascinating story. Well, this story has also the Jupiter or Zeus connection. Please don't get me wrong, I don't want to defame Zeus, but what a womanizer he was. This is one of the oldest constellations in the sky, at least in its more familiar guise of the Big Dipper. The classical story of this constellation is that represents another of Jupiter's, as I said, amorous conquests, or more truthfully, one of his innumerable, many amorous disgraces. Whether you call it disgrace or conquest, that depends upon who you are. Anyway, Callista was the daughter of King of Arcadia, a beautiful maiden who joined company with Diana, the virgin goddess's of the moon and the hunt. One day in the forest of Arcadia, she was spied by none other than Jupiter. Friends, you must have already come to know about Jupiter. He changed into a human form and took advantage of the girl. 9 months later, a son, Arcas, was born to Callisto. Hera, Jupiter's wife, was, what should you call, green with envy, anger, frustration. Eventually found out, of course, and she was livid. She couldn't punish her husband Jupiter. So, as usual, she took her anger on the poor maiden and turned her into a bear. Now, gradually, her son Arcas grew up, a fierce, strong hunter. He became a king, a prince. He came upon his mother while hunting. Not knowing it was her mother, he was about to attack and kill his own mother. Jupiter now intervened, took pity, turned Arcas into a smaller bear and placed both of them in the sky. Some versions of the story turn Arcas into Bootes as a bear driver. Whatever happens, another fascinating story. My dear friends, I hope you are enjoying it. Believe me, I'm absolutely charmed with all this. One can always find Polaris, the North Star, by sighting along 2 stars of the age of the Dipper. How to remember UrsaMajor? I always look for the Big Dipper and feel in the reminder of this large constellation, a snout, a leg, and the claws. Well, graphically speaking, the outline of the 7 bright stars of UrsaMajor form the asterism known as the Big Dipper in the United States and Canada. Well, in the United Kingdom it is called the Plough, or historically Charles Wen. 6 of the 7 stars of the 2nd magnitude or higher, it forms one of the best known patterns in the sky. Well, this is something very exciting. So, the portion, starting the ladle portion of the Dipper and extending clockwise or eastward in the sky to the handle, these stars are as follows. Alpha Ursae Majoris, known by the Arabic name Duvet, the bear. It is the 2nd brightest of the stars of Ursae Majoris. Beta Ursae Majoris, called the Merek, the loins of the bear. Gamma Ursae Majoris, known as either Fegda or Fad or Thigh. Delta Ursae Majoris or Megres, meaning the root of tail, referring to its location as the intersection of the body and the tail of the bear, or the ladle and the handle of the Dipper. Epsilon Ursae Majoris, known as Eloth, a name which refers not to a bear but to a black horse, the name corrupted from the original and misassigned to the similarly named Alcor, the naked eye binary companion of Mizar. Zeta Ursae Majoris or Mizar, the 2nd star in the form, the end of the handle of the Big Dipper, and constellation's 4th brightest star Mizar, which means girdle, forms the famous double star with its optical companion Alcor, the 2 of which were termed horse and rider by the Arabs. The ability to resolve 2 stars with naked eye is often quoted as a test of eyesight, although even people with quite poor eyesight can even see these 2 stars. And finally, Eta Ursae Majoris, known as either Alkaid or Benetnash, both meaning the end of the tale. With a magnitude of 1.85, Alkaid is the third brightest star in UrsaMajor. Except for Dubhe and Alkaid, the stars of Big Dipper all have proper motions, heading towards a common point in Sagittarius. So this is more or less the boundary. I hope you are liking it. Now our story and the journey into outer space, where history, mythology, and a journey into the outer space all coincides. This is your friend Rajib promising you to come back once again with another fascinating story about the constellations. Signing off for now. Stay safe, stay healthy. Namaskaram. Thank you.